Stand away there. Not so close to the General.
Never mind. I can hardly be called a general, with Her Majesty's army lying dead all around us.
Sorry, Lord Devonsey.
Forgive the boy. A few months ago he was a royal page. Now he's a soldier. Such are the depths to which we have fallen. I'm surprised to see any travelers on the road, with so many of Jane Cassinda's soldiers about. What brings you to this ill-omened place?
Bad luck brings us here, nothing more. We were traveling south to Stonebridge and we found the trails collapsed.
Simple travelers, and yet you have the look of the Legion about you. I heard the rumors of a gathering in the north, but I didn't believe there were any of you left. That's beside the point, though. I'm afraid you're stuck here with the rest of us. The western road has collapsed and we're surrounded on all sides by impassable swamp.
All the dead soldiers were yours? How did this happen?
Jane Cassinda's army was encamped in the swamp. I thought I'd catch her unaware, send her scrambling back to the spire. So I force-marched out of Glitterdale, sighted her troops at the base of the cliffs, and gave chase. In the first charge, we drove half her forces into the bogs. I could see Jane, not 50 feet from my lines. She had nowhere to run.
You smelled victory, and that's when the battle turned.
Jane sent a few of her sappers round back of my lines. They collapsed the roads behind me. A clever move, I'll give her that. Half my army, the young ones mostly, saw their escape route cut off. Didn't matter that we were winning. They panicked, broke and ran. Some of the veterans held their ground and died where they stood. The rest retreated here.
She boxed you in, with her forces on one side and the bogs on the other.
Killed half my people with the cannons. The rest tried to flee into the bogs and drowned. And here I am, trapped in this swamp, cut off from the Queen. She has only her maids to protect her now.
What forces do you have left?
Only the baggage train and a few cannons. One of my officers, Roderick, had command of the baggage train. He managed to keep the wagons out of sight, hid them under those massive roots. Unfortunately, the men who are guarding the wagons are my greenest troops, former servants and the like. The only blades they've ever wielded are kitchen knives.
What about those massive roots? We can walk across them like a road.
Indeed, they'd support our weight, and my cannons and wagons too. But the roots are separated by stretches of water. In order to create a path, we'd have to raise the land between them. Impossible, you might say. But I have a man in my army with power over earth and stone. A scholar called Phineas. If only he were here.
This Phineas can raise a land bridge between the roots? How is that possible?
He's made a study of earth magic. Geomancy. The old magic of the dwarves. It's all very incomplete, but a movement of earth by simple brute force. Yes, I think he could manage that much.
You've actually seen Phineas use earth magic?
When Jane's cannons had us surrounded, somehow he drew the earth up over our heads, protected us both from the enemy's fire. Saved my life. That's proof enough for me.
We need to find this scholar Phineas. Where has he gone?
He was among the first to be taken by the damned savages. They fell upon us not long after the battle, and they've been mounting raids and abducting our wounded ever since. First people, that's what the scholars called them. Only Azanai knows that they call themselves. I thought of mounting an attack on their village to rescue Phineas and the others. But my surviving soldiers are too few and too young. If I had your help, though...
Let's try talking to the first people before we do anything rash. Maybe they mistook you for a threat.
A reasonable theory, but I've met their kind before. Scavengers preying upon the weak and the wounded. They won't negotiate unless you hold a sword to their throats. I'll gather whatever men I can, the ones who can still fight. and we'll meet you there.
I saw you speaking with the General. We must be in dire straits to rely on passers-by. But Lord Devonsey has seen fit to trust you. You already know of the savages in the bog. Beastly lot they are. Some of our best soldiers were captured in their raids. Others have gone missing. We sent scouting parties into the bog. I armed them as best I could, but baggage train attendants are hardly soldiers.
A swamp is hardly a place for heavy wagons. Was your cargo worth the trouble?
Basic supplies needed for the troops, but also cannons, powder kegs, and the like. Perhaps we could find a way out of this muck-ridden cesspool on foot, but those cannons are needed in Glitterdelve.
This was a massacre. How did you survive the battle?
We panicked. Well, the young soldiers did anyway. After Jane collapsed the road behind us. We were so close to victory. I kept the baggage train here instead of risking an escape. The enclosure gave us just enough cover to survive the assault.
If your people are raw recruits, they won't survive long in the swamp. Let me look for your missing soldiers.
You surprise me. I can offer you little more than some extra supplies, and my thanks. Look for them to the east, out in the bog. We sent out 2 scouting parties. Hopefully the swamp hasn't claimed them. Devonsey won't permit any more of us to leave camp, so you're the only chance they'll get.
I didn't want to say anything in front of that lord, but I've heard the name Devonsey before.
He commands the Royal Army. You probably heard his name in news of some battle or other.
When I was young, I heard Odo speak of him many times, in hushed and urgent tones. That name, Devonsey, it was often paired with another name, but I don't remember what it was. We should tell Odo when we see him next. I think this might be important. Disgusting creatures. If only they were flammable.